to Punch Talk Wrestling! On this episode, we let the dice decide our discussion again, as we review the 13th episode of Friday Night SmackDown from November 11th, 1999. I am R.W. Hellborn, the PA Rock Prince, hailing quote-unquote from Philly! And I am one half of the Crown, which is one half of your Punch Talk Wrestling Inter-Universal Tag Team Podcast Champion host of the world. Now, then, and forever by my side, 3,500 miles away in London, England. He is my tag team podcast partner. He is the other half of the Crown, which is the other half of your Punch Talk Wrestling Inter-Universal Tag Team Podcast Champion host of the world, Mr. Did You Know, Sir King of Reels, the proper prick, C.J. Newman!
Did you know that SmackDown initially, before it was made into the show that we all know it to be today, was originally pushed to be an all-women's division TV show. But Bruce Pritchard has come out to say that it never came to fruition because they looked at it and they didn't have the depth and enough in the roster in order to have an all-female show. So that's quite interesting. And a Did You bonus, because it's been a while.
Did you bonus right off the bat?
I know, catch you off guard. The original SmackDown theme song, where it kind of goes, whatever the fuck all that shit is.
Exactly like that.
Was obviously written by Jim Johnson, who wrote all of the SmackDown, all of the wrestling themes back in the day. And the reason he wrote it is because he was hearing a lot of popular metal songs at that time, and according to him, he couldn't believe how unintelligible the lyrics were. So he decided to write the first ever SmackDown theme song with a heavy metal kind of backing to it, but couldn't find a singer. So he sung the lyrics himself. And when he was asked what the lyrics were, he said, "There are no lyrics. I just sang gibberish." And he's actually had fans contact him for a lyric sheet, and he could not provide it because there are none.
Well, there you go.
So there you go.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I just thought it was unintelligible.
Yeah, because it is.
It purposefully, it hit the fucking mark. Once again, bullseye.
Hit the fucking mark. Yeah.
Whew. All right.
And that's that. Well, I guess we should end it there because we've already done the how was your about
I think
do the thing.
I'll somehow cut into it. Probably, you might not even know. You might not even know where the edit comes in. I'm so
you're so damn good.
At it. Yeah.
Anyway, how's about we talk about SmackDown from November 11th, 1999?
Yeah.
All right, so we've reviewed a shitload of shows. I don't know how many, but since we started this podcast, old shows.
Yeah,
I mean.
but it's only recent that we've really been reviewing Raw and SmackDown shows. We've reviewed a lot of old pay-per-views.
It's good fun. It's been a lot of fun going back finding these old shows. And because with pay-per-views, it's just matches. But when you watch these Raw and SmackDowns, shit. You really don't know. You're basically picking yourself up and dropping yourself into a certain era, and it's just you're going to hear promos that are really passé, and you're going to see things that are really passé.
Yeah.
This is one of the shortest shows that we've reviewed, but I have never made more notes for a review in my life.
Yeah,
I've made so many notes.
I
There's
made notes.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I actually made notes.
How could you not with this show? This show was unfucking believable in every sense of the word. I'm shocked. And now, I remember this episode of SmackDown. I remember watching this episode of SmackDown.
Yeah.
I was 10 years old, and you were a little older.
I would have been 21. I would have almost. Yeah, I would be 21 at this point. Yep.
Yeah, I'd be verging on to. I'll be verging on 11. But yeah, so I remember this, and like, fuck me, like, definite sign of the times, because.
Yeah, I do remember watching this live at the time as well, and just being. Yeah, just even then this was one of those shocking. It's one of those infamous moments where you can't believe that they really did that, and then when you realize that they really, really did it. Yeah. I mean, well, that big show. Paul White's father had just passed away.
Yeah,
and yet they still did it, and he and he okayed it.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Let's start from the start here. So I'm literally, while I'm on this call with you right now, I'm still actively looking for the attendance of this show. But it's actually, I don't know if you found it by any chance, but
nothing that I found. I don't have the attendance. I don't think here.
I really struggled to.
Check this. Previous, this was, but it was at the Baltimore Arena in Baltimore, Maryland.
Well, there we go. That's good enough for me.
That's the only bit of information that I have. That's from prowrestling.fandom.com.
Yeah.
Pro Wrestling.
Give me a sec. I'm feeling like I might.
I don't know that. But see they didn't really track attendance as
not as good as they do these days
for the weekly programming.
No,
I don't even think they track it much for the other than the fact to say when they sold out, sold it out.
Yeah.
But like,
they
would, I recall them doing like the over 11,000 in attendance and stuff like, they would round the number or something.
Yeah.
A lot.
So we start the show with the old classic.
Before we start the show.
Sure.
Let's just because I have this information, we wouldn't have seen this, but it probably would have been on Superstars or Velocity.
Okay.
But there were 4 dark matches.
Ah, okay.
The first of which is crazy because we'll see his promo later, very soon for his premiere. But we had a dark match of Kurt Angle versus Shawn Stasiak.
Wow, okay.
This night. We had Gangrel versus Papi Chulo, who I don't even remember who that was. We had.
Oh, here we go. Look at this. I actually found it.
Oh, you did? Headbangers. We had Headbangers versus Mideon and Viscera, and Julio Fantastico defeating Rich Myers.
Okay, I don't know who any of those people are.
Yeah, those were the dark matches.
Here we go. I've got it's episode number 13 of WWF SmackDown.
Yeah, that's right. This was lucky 13, man. Holy shit.
Yeah, the 9th of November, 1999. Baltimore, Maryland, for the Baltimore Arena. 11,115 people in attendance.
There we go.
It was a taped broadcast. It was actually filmed on the 11th of November. Wait, hold on. Oh, it's broadcast on the 11th.
Broadcast
and it was taped on the 9th of November. So it was taped a few days beforehand.
Yeah, I don't think SmackDown. Yeah, because SmackDown wasn't SmackDown live.
SmackDown wasn't live for a very long time. Actually, it wasn't. Live.
Yeah, because they. Because they would be. I think they were taping them. They did something where it was like Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Hold on. and I believe it had something to do with keeping the TV crew together like for 2 days and then off to like the next location. So they would do those tapings close together so that it wasn't as difficult for the road crews.
Yeah, exactly. So show opens with the classic old school SmackDown, the original SmackDown theme, which I love. I have a soft place in my heart for that weird ass theme. And loads of pyro. And this is the go home show for Survivor Series 1999.
Yes, it was.
And if the whole card didn't prove that to you, I don't know what will. Just to go into it, like Survivor Series 1999 is the only pay-per-view card in WWF history that did not feature a singles contest.
That's right. That was a Did You Know? That was a Did You Know from an earlier
It was a
episode.
Did You Know from a while back, yeah. But
which probably was last year. Oh, that would have been. I'm guessing it was probably last year.
Yeah. But every
we did
single
Survivor
match,
Series, yeah.
nearly every single match was for the first time ever, was because they didn't normally do it like this, but like almost every match was a Survivor Series elimination style match. And then obviously the main event was, originally scheduled to be Triple H versus The Rock versus Stone Cold, and it ended up being Triple H, Rock, and Big Show instead. So we'll get into all that later. But my first note is that for some reason during the intro you could barely hear Michael Cole. Like his mic was not turned up whatsoever.
Yeah, I noticed that too, and I didn't know if that was. I don't know if that was a problem with that on their end, or if it was because they had to overdub something.
Yeah, it was weird.
Because for what I don't know if what I watched was even the original intro. Like it sounded to me like they overdubbed the audio with a different like intro song.
Well, I don't know if you noticed, but during this whole show the audio kept going really weird, like the crowd would sound but what I did notice that they were heavily, for example, we'll get into this DX promo in a second, but the crowd were cheering DX and they were manipulating the audio and canning in boos to make it seem like they were booing them, and the crowd were 100% cheering
that's
them.
right, they were. That's right. This was. And I'm pretty sure, please, by all means, internet, correct me if I'm wrong, because that would mean you're listening and engaging with us on social media at Punks Talk Wrestling on Threads and Instagram and Facebook and not on TikTok.
And everything. Not on TikTok.
Don't go to TikTok. You know what? We used to say it, but I'm just going to stop saying it because we don't use it. Neither of us use TikTok. We don't promote. There was some stuff up there that I posted, but we haven't
It's just not good. It's just not happening.
We're not getting it. So, yeah. Instagram and Threads. Mainly just Instagram. Instagram. Email us at punkstalkwrestling@gmail.com and patreon.com/punkstalkwrestling. And maybe sometime youtube.com/punkstalkwrestling. But anyway, what were we saying before I went into an awkward plug?
You said about prove me wrong, but then you never said exactly what you were talking about.
Oh, yes. I think this was because this is still early internet era ish.
Yeah.
This is around the time where people started. I think they were catching on to that kind of stuff too. Like, They were hearing like the boos and the cheers getting pumped in on TV, and then realizing
you could really tell
at live events they're not really getting booed.
Yeah.
So this was an early era of WWE trying to, they're trying to tell the story that they're trying to tell. They're trying to craft it in the way that they want it to be presented, and they want you to boo the bad guy, and they want you to cheer the good guy. And if you don't do that, they're gonna fix it in post.
Exactly. Now the problem they had here was like, obviously, we'll get into the very, very questionable antics from DX in a second, but the DX were fucking cool as shit. They were just cool, and it was kind of hard to boo someone that's a group that's just cool as fuck. Kind of like the NWO were. They're just cool. So it's no wonder teenage boys didn't want to boo them.
Right.
But this was fucking weird. I don't even remember this part, but how do we even talk about what they did?
What are you talking? Well, the
stunt they
segment?
pulled on, the stunt they pulled on Raw, where they basically tricked Vince and Shane into thinking that they were sexually assaulting Stephanie.
Yeah,
basically.
I didn't even make. I didn't specifically note what that was.
Couldn't even believe what I was watching.
Yeah, that was. I kind of blocked that out. I just wrote down opening segment was 1999. That was what I wrote. And thanks for reminding me, because it kind of really, I pushed it from my mind, because that's just
so many terrible things were said during this segment. I've made note, but I ain't gonna say them again. But some of them were just awful. And
there's the thing, like, kind of rewinding, but DX, that wasn't cool. That wasn't cool at all.
That wasn't cool.
That was extremely over the line. Now, here's how they want you to take it, in that later on it was all a joke. Like, they played it off like they were tricking. They were definitely tricking Vince and Shane to think that wasn't Stephanie.
That wasn't Stephanie, no.
But
they revealed in the end that it was an actress.
That it was someone else, but that they still had, but basically that, DX still had sex with them.
Yeah.
With her. So it was still pretty slimy, but they, walked it back a bit. It's just, I mean, the bottom line is it's still just crass. And, like, that's the kind of stuff that, kind of shit just doesn't fly these days. But it's 1999. They were targeting the market they were targeting, and this shit hit the mark.
Yeah, it's crazy to think
it hit the mark for the targets that they were targeting.
Not just this, but there's so much to get into in this show, but there's so much in this show that would get you cancelled in a fucking heartbeat.
Oh, God,
if this was aired on any WWE programming in the modern day, they would be taken off the air.
And this is exactly why we say nobody wants the Attitude Era back, because this was Attitude Era. This is exactly what the Attitude Era was about. It was about being... They were going over the top. They were doing all of this out of sheer ability to go over the top. They were paying fines.
Yeah.
I mean, they paid. You talk about how many fines they paid to the networks when they did stuff that you couldn't do. Like, you're not allowed to do this stuff, and they paid fines, and they just paid the fines. Like, they would do shit and just pay the fines because it's not illegal. Like, that's the thing. Like,
it's not illegal, but I think the difference.
I mean, you can get in. If it repeatedly happens, there are things that can happen. Like, it will have an effect. But, like, when that shit happens, like when someone drops an F-bomb on live TV, and the network, NBC got fined $500,000 for someone dropping an F-bomb.
Yeah,
big whoop-de-doo. Like, it's not
exactly. But the thing,
it doesn't really matter.
The thing they didn't have back then, which they have now, is obviously social media, and now like there would be so much more of a public outcry if things like this were to air on TV in the modern day.
Well, also
this is most certainly the most Attitude Era SmackDown I think there possibly ever was.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that there's just a lot of stuff that wouldn't fly. Like I said, this is why nobody actually wants that back. You just want to be 13 again.
My favorite thing that was said during this entire promo was completely innocent, and it was hilarious. and it was obviously the SmackDown set had the big oval screen.
Yes.
And Triple H says, "Roll that beautiful bean footage," which I thought was hilarious.
Just
dumb.
Like, yeah.
Because it's shaped like a bean, so it was bean footage.
Yeah.
I like it. I dig it.
Just
Beautiful bean footage.
That holds up. That holds up.
Yeah, that was fine. It was innocent.
That holds up.
Oh, and did you hear Triple H's dry as fuck laugh?
I didn't take notice of it.
Oh man, no. Just if you've got 2 seconds of your day, just go back and watch this segment. I think it's just after they play the footage, or maybe Vince had come out, and he laughs, and it's like, you know when you laugh and there's nothing left, there's no more oxygen left apart from to make the most dry kind of heavy crackle, yeah. Just like a kind of, it was terrible, and it made me laugh quite a lot. Vince comes out, threatens to fire them, but then said that would be too easy.
Of course, and it's quite crazy. Firing them would be too easy.
It's quite crazy. We watched
be
two
too
shows
good for it. Too good for Finley.
Yeah, two shows that are 9 years apart, and he pulls the same shit.
I mean, hey man, at least if not, the one thing he was consistent in that. Except for that 1 year when he was actually fired, when people were actually fired. Like, yeah. There was a definitive time frame where Mr. McMahon, the character, where firing was too good for them. But then there was a definitive time, and I'd be curious to see what that time frame, what era that was, because that was that might have been the ruthless aggression era, because that was
the aggression was because that was ruthless aggression. It's like, fuck you, you're getting fired.
I think that was it, because Kiss My Ass, because that was the Kiss My Ass Club was Finley. That was 2009 that we.
But he was also doing that in the early thousands as well, because William Regal.
Yeah, they took a break.
Did it, JR
2009.
did it.
Yeah, 2009 and 2010 are just a year apart. But yeah, so there you go. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, then
we'll get Danny the Brain on it and to find
Test runs out
verify.
And basically it seems like he legitimately got his nose fucked, because you see him later on and he legitimately has like stitches on his fucking face. So
yeah, he might have got legit.
I think they
popped.
just clocked him. Yeah. Because there was a lot of blood in the ring, and there was a lot of blood in his face as well.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, and then just have a little footage from the so they speak all night long. Like, we'll get to the segment when it happens, but all night long they kept saying we've got some disgusting, heinous footage from Big Show's dad's funeral.
Every break between segments,
right? Every single break, they were telling us that.
They were telling.
But my initial question is like, why were the WWE production team at the funeral of a wrestler's dad who had nothing to do with the business?
To begin, why were they there to begin with?
Yeah.
Well, to get the heinous acts. I mean, because they.
Yeah, but they didn't know Big Boss Man was going to be there.
Come on, man. I mean,
I know. I mean, Danik.
Why was their film crew in the grocery store? Well, I guess they were following Stone Cold and Booker T.
Yeah, but because Booker T was on the run, so they were following him.
That's true. He was on the run. There's got to be other instances where there was film crew.
There definitely was. I'm being pedantic.
Where they're just.
Kurt Angle vignette. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because Kurt Angle makes his debut at Survivor Series.
Right, which is good. So this was that dark match. Before this taping was I guess was one of his first matches.
Yeah.
So interesting. If we ever meet Kurt Angle, we'll ask him about that match.
And okay, real quick, I just want to make note of how messy. Like, we've already established that more WWE Championship. There were more WWE Championship title changes in 1999 than any other year in history.
Yes, there was.
And I also wanted to talk generally about the fucking. Now, they'd already gotten rid of. It was 11, I think.
11.
Yeah, but still, that's insane. That's like once a month. I still want to talk about though. So Vince Russo had already gotten rid of at this point, and he was in WCW, I think, because he was obviously heavily involved in the year 2000. But
yeah,
what the fuck was going on here? So this is Vince and Triple H like in a blood feud here. Like they're literally over his daughter.
Yep.
Obviously, come December at Armageddon, Vince and Triple H have a match, and he gets completely bloodied, and Steph betrays her dad and joins Triple H.
Yep. Turns out it was me all along, Vince.
Yeah. And then, but he would be then teaming with Triple H not 4 months later after December, but come after WrestleMania, it was the McMahon-Helmsley era, and like Vince McMahon was part of the faction kind of with DX. If you remember, go to Backlash or Judgment Day, which was just after WrestleMania, and we had the returns of Austin and Undertaker, like they were on the same side. So that's fucking weird. But then if you just looked at the cards,
but yeah, if you just looked at the cards for those pay-per-views in succession, yeah, it would make absolutely no sense how you got from one to the other so quickly.
And then you look at the
and Rock. I don't think it actually I'd be willing to bet if we went back and tried to watch it and find how it happened, it probably wouldn't make that much sense.
Yeah,
either.
But then you look at the Rock, right? And you look at the Rock at the start of 1999. If he was just look at that.
Look at 1999 Rock.
If he was in the main event against Mankind on Raw when he lost the championship, that's when he was in the corporation.
Yep.
And he was still in the corporation for a good few months after that.
Yep.
And then they kicked him out of the corporation. He obviously turned face. But here we are in November, not 7 months later, and he's tagging with Shane McMahon.
Yep.
It made no sense. None of it made any sense.
Family problems, man. That's why you stay out of other people's family business.
Just messy shit. Anyway,
it's messy as shit. Yeah.
First match: Hardcore Holly versus Edge. Every single match on this card was basically we've just shoved 4 or 5 people together to face 4 or 5 other random people that have been shoved together for no apparent reason, other than it's Survivor Series.
Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly it. It's the go home show, because this is still the height of pay-per-view. There's no networks. They
didn't do traditional Survivor Series matches for a few years. This was the first year that they did them for quite some time. And even going after this, I think it wasn't until 2003 or 4 that they did them again. And it wasn't since about 95 or 96 that they had done them since. So they took a few years off, randomly did shitloads in 1999, and it didn't do any for a few more years.
Yeah, I think that was their return to the old way, the original way of doing them. I mean, right before the end of the millennium.
Yeah,
it was like a send-off. I guess it was a send-off, and then they decided not to keep it up the next year for a little while.
Yeah. So we had Hardcore Holly versus Edge. Of course, my first note for this match is I fucking love Crash Holly.
Love Crash Holly, man.
I just fucking love Crash Holly. Did you see when he hit Hardcore Holly in the head with the scales on the way to the ring?
My God,
that was so good.
Hardcore with the scale was that, or Crash with the scale. Like,
yeah,
that was just one of those things. Like, good on him. Like, that's a guy that just went all in on whatever he got,
Yeah, because he was weighed allegedly over 400 pounds. So
yeah, yep. So he'd bring
just fucking love it. What a gimmick, what a guy. Like, he was in the company for such a short space of time, but he left such a lasting impression.
Man,
everyone talks about Crash Holly in the 24/7 rule for the Hardcore Championship, and man,
he's
what a dude.
I mean, for I know Hardcore Holly gets some shit, and some of it might be deserved, or at least people believe that it's deserved for reasons. But those, but the Holly family, like, without Hardcore Holly, there would be no Crash Holly or Molly Holly. And so thank goodness there was.
Yeah.
And I mean, for the most part, like Hardcore Holly was, he was really fucking. If you look at in the ring, his gimmick. Don't think about any of the backstage stuff. Don't think about anything other than in the ring, minus what some people might criticize him for. You know,
he was impressive.
He was impressive, man. He went out there and like you really believed, and he proved it. Well, like he came out, he beat the shit out of people.
We were talking last week about people that are just like fucking ham hocks, you know, and this guy is one of them.
Like that's the dude That's the dude who, when his gimmick is, I'm the toughest motherfucker in the room, you buy it.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
I need to go back.
And it's not some dude because he's wearing a leather vest with spikes or, you know, or got some face paint. You know, it's the dude that just will knock you the fuck out at the drop of a head. Like,
I want to go back to this era and see if there was ever a Bradshaw versus Hardcore Holly match. I'm sure
dude, if there is, I want to watch it.
Yeah, sure they beat the fuck out of each other. I mean, obviously,
I'm sure there's got to be, especially in hardcore time. But
yeah, exactly.
But all right, anyway,
this match, like, I mean, this goes for every match. I mean, every pay-per-view we've watched from the 90s, well, 98, 99 period. Like, the WWE was not known for its in-ring quality at this point. It was more known for, like, car crash television. But for what they did in this match, for the very, very short space of time that they had, it was half decent. It had 3 minutes and 23 seconds is all we had here.
If you look at, you got the times for all these matches too, right?
Yeah.
Like, look at these times. Like,
that's super short.
Yeah.
But I think out of all the matches, this is probably one that gave the best match quality. I think it was like they were two good workers. It was Edge and Hardcore Holly. Like they're fucking
Young Edge,
too good. Yeah. Young Edge as well. Yeah.
I didn't take note. I didn't take note. The only thing I noted was it was a really odd finish. And I don't remember why I noted that. I just said odd finish to first match.
Edge gave Hardcore Holly a superplex from the top rope, and then when they landed, Hardcore Holly kind of snuck a roll up.
Gotcha. Yeah. And it looked a little.
It looked like hokey, but to be honest with you, Hardcore's shoulder was off the floor, and Edge's were both on the mat.
The ref. I mean, the ref was correct there.
The ref did his thing.
Yeah.
And next we go backstage, and here we got Vince and hanging out with Gerald Briscoe and Pat Patterson, telling them not to act like fangirls when Arnold Schwarzenegger arrives.
Oh yeah, the Stooges.
And then Arnold Schwarzenegger arrives, and they have a little chat, and he goes, "Oh, I can't wait to see SmackDown. Let's go for it."
Yeah, he does.
He does. It's what he says. So he says a lot of things on this pay-per-view.
He does. He gets a good amount of airtime.
Yeah.
I mean, he's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Was he the governor at this point? When did?
That wasn't until like 2004.
That was 2004. Yeah. This was pre-governor. Okay.
Yeah, he was still in the movies, obviously, because that's kind of why he was here, just to promote a movie.
Oh right, I don't even remember which movie it was.
We'll get to that. And next up, we have D'Lo Brown and the Godfather versus the Dudley Boys. Very obviously, you got the Godfather, very over. The hose, the hoe train, and the whole shebang, all that stuff. D'Lo Brown with the head, with the shaking head.
D'Lo being D'Lo.
D'Lo being D'Lo. D'Lo being as D'Lo as D'Lo can be.
Yeah.
And it was just a match. But did you see that fucking power driver that Bubba Ray Dudley gave D'Lo Brown? He fucking bounced off his head. That was wild.
Yeah.
And when fucking Godfather went for a hoe train, and then fucking Bubba Ray like pounced him out of the way. That was insane. This was like car crash. This was like they really went out there with the hold on, let me tell you, with the 3 minutes and 59 seconds that they had, and really put as much in it as they possibly could.
Yeah, you did get you got a lot out of that. You got a lot of mileage out of that from as far as the car crash tag team goes.
Yeah, so Dudley's win with a 3D.
Yep.
Dudley's pretty new at this point. I mean, they'd probably only been there about 6 months, if that. to be honest.
Yeah.
So they're obviously pushing them as a tag team at this point.
Yeah, this is still they're still in the purple tie dye and
yeah, they're still in
glasses.
their like ECW get up basically. Yeah. Again, commentators telling us that they had some really disturbing footage to show us at a funeral, and then we go to a break again. We have Val Venus versus the British Bulldog.
No, Bulldog.
No? Oh yeah, great. So
Bulldog.
I was gonna. You noticed this too. They announced him as British Bulldog, but his name bar just said Bulldog.
Yup. It just said Bulldog.
Okay, you spotted that too. All right,
yeah,
it wasn't just
yeah. The commentators were calling him British Bulldog, but yeah, no, it was, and I guess because he was in the corporate. He was in. I don't know. He just wasn't being British Bulldog. He was being Bulldog. He came out in jeans.
Well, at this point, because he was in the corporation, you're right.
Yeah.
But then obviously the corporation split apart,
and now
he just kept the Mean Street Posse. And they just hung out with him for whatever fucking reason.
I don't know. Yeah, not sure why that either.
I'm sure that was never explained. It just because. But yeah, so that was the match, and we had Val Venus again. We got some really questionable shit.
Yeah, I mean, his character was a porn star, so.
Yeah, the line treating women like objects. That's Val Venus's gimmick.
Yes.
And guess what? Val Venus was the face.
Yes.
In this contest.
Well, he was he was. Now, I'll give him credit. He was promoting, a positive sex work industry, like in a positive light, I guess.
Yeah.
Support sex workers are real workers.
It's true.
It is true. It's true. So in that regard, I mean, I liked Val Venus. I think funny enough for having his gimmick being he's a male porn star, he probably was one of the least offensive characters.
Yeah, it was dumb. It was
Era.
You're right. You're actually right, and it was just dumb. And like he actually had he won like European and Intercontinental Championship gold, and he was pretty good. And then after that, he had the whole Sean Morley run where he censored. Oh, actually, before that, even he was in Right to Censor.
Yeah, when he did the Right to Censor, that was
yeah.
See, I dug that too. I dug the Right to Censor as a way of completely shifting people's personas, and definitively, we're like what an interesting gimmick that they literally shed their old gimmicks.
Yeah.
To I thought the Right to Censor was great. And that's all I can say about that.
Then we had a few references here to the Al Snow's action figure.
Oh yes,
getting pulled from the shelves.
I have this as my next note. Literally my next note as well. Yeah, this was because of the head. It came with, and of course on the head they write "help me."
Yeah, yeah.
So people at the time thought it was a woman's head that he murdered.
Yeah.
And that it promoted murder and decapitation of women. Yeah,
so the Georgia State government representative Sabrina Parton, an assistant professor of communication at Kennesaw State, said, "My sons are 6 and 11. What kind of message would this toy send to them about brutalization of women?" Little did they know that this was obviously a mannequin head. But I get it. If you're passing by that figure in a store, you wouldn't know, would you?
No, I guess no. You wouldn't. I guess you wouldn't. You wouldn't if you didn't know.
If you didn't know the context, yeah.
If you didn't know the context,
yeah.
So I'm just looking real quick at, WWE, the packaging. I was just looking to see if like any of those packages were like for ages, 8 to 12, like basically saying, yeah, you're talking about your 6-year-old, but these action figures are for, 9 to 14-year-olds.
Yeah.
kind of thing. I don't know if that's the case or not. No, action figures are geared to kids. We know that. But yeah, I get it. I mean, that I will say, I'll say of the things that people have wanted to censor for misunderstandings, that one I actually kind of get it. Like, you'd have no way of knowing. And wrestling in 1999 wasn't as overtly popular and mainstream as it was now. And yeah, I can 100% understand why people wouldn't know what that was, because it looks like a woman's head with "help me" written on it. What else? Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
And they think this set precedent for action figures moving forward, well, wrestling figures moving forward, because they had to really like think about these things. It's like, you can't make an action figure out of every character. Like, I'm sure, there's a lot of, you couldn't do certain things with an action figure when it pertains to Godfather, for example. Like, you couldn't have Ho Train written on him. Like,
right, yeah.
They had to do that with a lot of, like, for example, a lot of Austin's figures, they couldn't write Hell Yeah.
Right.
Because of the word hell.
Yeah, or the F skull CK,
Yeah, actually as well, like the Hell in a Cell toy, they had to rename it Rage in a Cage.
Yes. Yep.
So there's a lot of things they obviously, because you have to cater towards certain ages when it comes to toys. So
yeah, and
makes sense.
And honestly, I don't see anything wrong with that. Like,
it's fine.
There are definitely better there are better things to there's better hills to die on when it comes to stuff than that. Like,
so we finish up with that. I don't even know who the fuck won that match. Did you make? It was
a no contest.
It was one of the many matches of the night that ended in a no contest. Yeah. Venus and Bulldog was a 1 minute 14 match before it ended in disqualification.
Ooh,
in case you wanted to know. Then we go backstage. We got The Rock and Arnold Schwarzenegger meet backstage. Really quick exchange. I will delve into my Arnold Schwarzenegger impression again to say, "I can smell what you're cooking. Let me tell you that." And then he says, "There's a lot of jabronis in Hollywood." And
the jabronis in Hollywood line was great, considering this is also pre-Rock.
Yeah,
Rock.
Yeah, if only he knew. And then The Rock.
Well, my guess is they probably did.
In fact, it made no sense. He went, "There's a lot of jabronis out in Hollywood," and The Rock's answer is, "Yeah, hasta la vista." I'm like, what? That doesn't make sense. That's not what that means. That means see you later or something. And then they continued to. It was just weird. It's just like, who wrote that shit? You didn't.
They were just. I don't know. Maybe nobody wrote that shit. Maybe
the Rock could have walked away and then gone like, "Hey Arnold," and he would look back and he would have gone, "I'll be back." Or something, that would have been better.
You should. In fact, we should go back in time.
Total missed opportunity here. Like, at no point tonight in this entire show did anyone say "I'll be back." What the hell? Missed opportunity.
I wonder if that it's a copyrighted phrase and they can't use it without
maybe
Paramount's. No, I don't think you can copyright that.
I don't think you can copyright that. I think anyway. We have a quick recap of the Big Boss Man and Big Show rivalry, which is full of the Big Show pushing a dumpster on a car that Big Boss Man was inside, and Albert and Big Boss Man gassing Big Show in his locker room.
Yeah, but also
wild shit.
But here he is still defending his hardcore championship against Farouk in a completely separate thing with no relation to anything else that's going on.
Yeah.
So he's got a storyline with Big Show.
Well, but before that, we obviously have the funeral segment is here.
Oh, this is where the funeral. Right. So this happened before his match happened right after the funeral.
Yeah. So obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have the funeral. Say, it happens. It's wild. I can't actually fucking believe they actually thought of this and then went, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do that.
I would highly suggest. I would highly recommend listening to Bruce Pritchard's Something to Wrestle With podcast episode where he talks about them filming that episode.
Right.
It's ridiculous, but it's also another, it goes to show you, like I said last week, it shows you, like, even with big productions like WWE does, a lot of times they don't know what the fuck they're doing until the day of. And like, I get it. I understand why people, you hear all these stories about how shit would change in the day of and everything come, and like, and I can understand why people might not understand it, but at this time period, things were happening so fast, things were changing so rapidly, and you just had to fucking roll with it. Like, you just had to and you hear the same complaints from the same kind of people, and I hear and then you see the same kind of people who didn't complain about it. They just got themselves through it, figured out how to work in that environment and thrived through it for whatever reason, however you want to say it. But that's just how it is. Like, that's just how it is. Fuck, I was gonna go somewhere, and I really had it. I really thought I had it, and then it just like started going off. Maybe it'll come back around. Maybe that, like, I had the punchline of that thought.
That's cool. If it comes back.
Back, it probably won't.
We have we go on to what's funny as well. Armageddon is the pay-per-view after Survivor Series, and the WWF Championship match for that pay-per-view is Big Boss Man versus the Big Show, because fucking randomly Big Show is then inserted into the Triple Threat Survivor Series, wins the championship, and then continues his storyline with the Big Boss Man going into Armageddon. So it's almost like they put pause on the storyline to then move on to. That's
kind of interesting, because I didn't realize that happened.
Yeah, and it makes you question
afterwards
as to why the Big Boss Man wouldn't interrupt in the main event of Survivor Series to make sure Big Show didn't win the It's kind of.
Well, this could also, this might also just be, hey, let's give Big Show a title run here. Let's kind of shift some things, give Big Show a title run, because he lost his dad, and he was a really good sport about filming a scene where we drag his father's casket off. Also, I wanted to talk about this. Who the fuck? Like, I know what. Who wears an entire leather pants and leather bomber jacket and like dark sunglasses? I understand sunglasses. For people like to wear sunglasses.
It was a sunny day. It's fine.
Well, also because crying, you look. People don't like to.
Yeah.
Like the way they look when they're crying.
That's a great question, but I'm sure 1999 would like to reply and say, "Hey,
oh, right,
man, it's the 90s.
1999. That's right. I keep forgetting 1999."
Yeah.
The other thing about that that I thought was so wild was that there was when he got hit by the car.
Yeah.
Everyone ran over to him, and not a single person
kept an eye on
on like people that should have just been there, like the guy performing the ceremony wouldn't and there's funeral grounds, obviously you can't, doing what they did and getting away with it how they did
Yeah.
You've got to suspend disbelief in some certain things. Like this is why.
Yeah, of course.
This is exactly why you suspend disbelief.
This is a perfect example of suspending your disbelief.
Yeah.
I also got to ask why the megaphone on Big Boss Man's car was so fucking huge.
Big.
I've never seen a megaphone that big. In my
That's
life.
like, dude. That's like the shit from Back to the Future. Like, vote for mayor, whatever it was.
Oh, that's serious. Right.
That's like that's kind of what. Yeah, that's gotta be. I don't know. Maybe there's just a cop car in wherever they were, where in Baltimore.
I don't know because the thing looked kind of fake as well. It looked like they made it just for that segment.
We got to get some in. We got to get some.
I bet that's
on.
in the WWE warehouse somewhere. That big megaphone.
We need to get somebody on it. Maybe Danny the Brain. Maybe Tulo. Maybe Marky Bradley. Oh, by the way, I meant to bring this up last week that I forgot to bring it up the week before.
Yeah.
So let me find it. Let me find it now. Good old Mark, our old DM, original Boulette Club. He had mentioned CM Punk strap matches in WWE. We're referring to versus Brent Albright in OVW, Umaga at Extreme Rules 09, and then Drew at Passion Berlin.
Fair enough.
He beat Raven. And here's the delineate. Here's the differentiation. He beat Raven in Ring of Honor in 2000. Okay, he beat Raven in Ring of Honor in 2003 and MJF in AEW 2 years ago, but they were technically dog collar matches, not strap matches.
Oh, right.
Not sure which matches.
Me.
Yeah. So.
All right.
Yeah, that was so basically that. He's like either someone fucked up backstage or I'm not sure which matches WWE were including in their 3-0 record because the graphic came up before the match. So before Punk had beaten Drew,
because they called it a career record. So I don't know. Maybe someone did fuck up there, but
right. So maybe they were maybe they meant maybe that was the third match and they kind of blew it there. But yeah, someone fucked up. He's not wrong.
Yeah.
All of those check out. So yes, our mind across the pond. I don't know. We got to give Mark a nickname for the podcast now. Mark, we're gonna come up with a better nickname for you than Mark needs a nickname.
I kind of like that though.
Yeah.
Next up, so then we had Farouk versus Big Boss Man. Very quick match. I'm just happy we got to see Bradshaw just hit someone with a chair because Bradshaw.
Dude, I fucking love Bradshaw.
Just absolutely killed Prince Albert with that fucking chair.
I love Bradshaw. I love JBL.
Also, can I ask why the dominatrix-looking Prince Albert was hanging around with the Big Boss Man? Or is it because Big Boss Man was dressed like a policeman and that's kind of dominatrix-y in itself? I don't think there's a way to explain why. I don't know. Is there a reason? Can anyone explain? I can't. I certainly can't. If anyone can, by all means, explain it to us on Instagram or Facebook. We know why Prince Albert was called Prince Albert, right?
Yes, we do know why Prince Albert was called Prince Albert. He had a very large graphic of a body jewelry on his leotards that were definitively more towards his lower region than his upper region.
He also had a lot of piercings in general. So.
Yes. Something that a little digibonus.
Digibonus right there.
Something that I don't know if he actually had a Prince Albert, but the PA Rock Prince.
I don't need to know.
The PA in PA Rock Prince doesn't necessarily stand for Pennsylvania. little digibonus right there.
Digibonus has never had such a double entendre meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you boner?
Did you double on? Did you
double entendre?
Let's just leave it at where I made the joke.
Next up, China's backstage with Miss Kitty and Kelly Kelly.
Yes,
Kelly Kelly looks awkward as fuck. I don't know what's going on, but he just seemed really awkward.
She's probably learning new things about herself during this.
I don't know what happened here. Did you make sense of this? Because we don't
about why Kitty was mini China.
Yeah, but then they said vagina.
Why they said the word
Kelly?
vagina?
They were saying, someone said something about vagina, like Chris Jericho, and then Kevin Kelly just went vagina, and then I don't really know what happened. I think I might have just lost. I got a little lost. Okay.
Yeah. I think everybody got a little. I think everybody was a little distracted.
But anyway,
I don't think anyone was really paying attention to what they were supposed to be paying attention to during that segment. The cameramen, neither the people being interviewed, doing the interviews, or watching. There was a lot of distraction going on.
There's a lot going on because
this is 1999, guys. This is 1999.
So Chris Jericho comes along and smashes a bottle over China's head, and then Miss Kitty is screaming her fucking head off. And then he keeps smacking her over the head with a hairdryer, saying, "Well, you dry your hair, China." And then he dumps some female accessories on her.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
1999, folks. 1999. I mean, we literally had. This is China, Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah.
China.
Yeah.
So this was that was 25 years ago. This is why I'm gonna say this, and I'm disappointed. I even though I haven't watched Raw, I'm disappointed. I really wanted it to be Rhea Ripley taking that IC title. It's been 25 years since IC champ China.
We got to remember she's still really young, and there's still a possibility.
I know there's plenty of time for her. I really thought I was clever.
There was no fucking way she was gonna meet Braun Breaker, man.
What are you talking about? She could easily if you just put her against him pound for pound on everything, she can go toe to toe with him easy. She's on or above his. She's above his level already.
If you say so. Well, in popularity, yes, but
in every way in all the ways that actually matter as a superstar, Rhea Ripley is more popular than Braun Breaker. Yes, Rhea Ripley is a better You might not want to hear the word, but she's a better WWE superstar. She's a better, if you want to call a professional wrestler, I think Rhea. Yeah, I think it's great that Jey Uso won. I'm gonna be a great match. I'm gonna feel good about it. But it's
the best thing ever.
Yeah, man. But
I love Jey.
I don't think. I don't know.
Anyway,
I don't know. I think I just wanted to be right. I just wanted to be right. I don't like being wrong. That's all. I don't like being surprised.
And funny enough, you're surprised more often than not. Anyway,
I'm constantly surprised.
You're constantly surprised.
I am continuously surprised.
You're like a deer in the headlights. Then Chris Jericho comes out and makes the most sexist promo of all time.
Yeah, I mean, he is a heel. He's at least a heel.
Sexist promo that happened. There are at least now at this point 4 things that would have been cancelled off of today's television. Never
Easily.
would have seen the light of day.
Yeah.
Then we have Grandmaster Sexay versus Jeff Hardy.
We
I
do.
ain't got much to say about this match apart from Brian Christopher's laugh is just something else.
It was one of the longest matches at 3 minutes and 33 seconds. Yeah, I got to be honest. I don't remember. I don't even remember what happened in this match.
The match ended with a brawl, I think, didn't it?
Well, it does say he defeated Jeff Hardy.
Oh.
But Terry Runnels was there, so Jerry Lawler was, Jerry Lawler
doing his thing, and I probably checked out.
And Grandmaster Sexay being like there was more than likely at least 2 references by JR that Grandmaster Sexay is actually his son. So there was there would have been some sort of, and I think I just checked out for this one because it certainly wasn't as good as the Jeff Hardy match we watched on.
No, we watched from 2008. That's right. Yeah. We then moved to Arnold Schwarzenegger comes out, and we have here I go again with the impression. He says, "I'm here to pump you up." That's what he says.
He did say that.
He did say that, and then he's given a replica of the WWF Championship as and he's named the heavyweight box office champion. And I think you'll find that he never defended that championship, so I guess you could say he's the longest reigning WWF champion of all time. He's held that.
I wonder if him and The Rock are going to have another another get together.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe they will.
I noted at this point that he sounded like Gunther.
Oh my God! You literally took the words out of my mouth. I was literally about to say it.
Dude, you and I have basically the exact same notes.
The same notes. He literally, my next note after the box office champion thing, it says he sounds like Gunther here.
Yeah,
he literally did. I know they're both from Austria. It's not like the most unlikely thing, but his
that's
voice
just what I mean.
Slightly higher in pitch here, right? Because he's probably smoked a whole lot less cigars by this point. So he sounds like Gunther.
Yeah.
And then I said, this is like the most 90s thing I've ever watched. I'm watching Arnold Schwarzenegger in a fucking WWF ring next to Mr. McMahon. It was just, what the fuck is happening on?
Oh, so good.
And then Arnold Schwarzenegger's like, it's so good to be here in front of 500 million people. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, 500 million people?
Yep.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot. I mean, listen, don't try to... I'm not going to correct him.
I'm not going to correct him, yeah.
No.
And then he says, go see End of Days. So that's obviously
End of Days. Days.
Which, I like the film. It wasn't the best Arnie film. I like every Arnie film, though. So who am I to judge?
I don't know that I've ever seen that movie.
You didn't see End of Days? Go watch it. You know what? He's got, if anything, this is the dumbest shit I'm ever going to say. Arnold Schwarzenegger does not look cooler than he does in End of Days. Because he's got like stubble and he just looks like a badass motherfucker,
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and I just always thought that since I was a kid. And at that and at the start of Kindergarten Cop, before he becomes the teacher, he's like you see him undercover on like another thing. And he's got stubble, man. He looks fucking cool as shit. Anyway, that's me like perving over Arnold Schwarzenegger.
We're all learning things about ourselves rewatching 1999 SmackDown.
But he does. It's cool as fuck. Anyway,
yeah.
Then DX are like backstage. They watch this segment on the TV, and I guess they're just like, essentially they're like, fuck this guy for no apparent reason. They're just like,
yeah, what the fuck?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
The hallway beatdown. And I have this. The hallway beatdown segment was just like they were waiting for somebody, and it wasn't them. They beat down some random person, and then they realized it was not a random
and then
person.
They continued to beat him up.
So then they continued to beat him up more, and then ran away. Like,
yeah.
What the fuck was up with that? Like,
yeah, it was something, and then we quickly go to the biggest clusterfuck of a women's segment I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
It was just
1 minute and 16 seconds.
For the women's championship, and it just fell apart.
I mean, hey, at least there was a women's championship being defended.
So. But there was every woman on the roster come out. I think you find out that the match they're having at Survivor Series is like an evening gown 5-on-5. Only one pinfall, though, because obviously we can't give women that much time to have 9 people eliminated. So there goes that. Then we go backstage again.
1999.
1999. DX then they end up finding Kane, who then beats the fuck out of them in the hallway.
Yeah. Well, Kane, I get more like Kane finds them.
Yeah.
Or they
And then,
accidentally run into Kane.
Yeah, and then I've written here a brand new match type. It's called Brawl in the Hall.
Brawl in the Hall. Oh, that's where. Yes, this is where the beatdown was. I got that confused.
And then we move on to our main event, which was Kane, Shane, and The Rock versus DX initially, and then we obviously move to Test comes out eventually, but yeah, I mean, this was a big old car crash clusterfuck, bit in a good way, I guess. It was just obviously Austin, like, this is like pinnacle 90s. Everyone in this, we had DX, we had The Rock, we have the McMahons, we have fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin as an enforcer. We've got Arnold Schwarzenegger on the fucking commentary, like,
yeah,
constantly saying, "This is fantastic. Oh, this is fantastic." Everything was fantastic. I don't know whose idea it was to put him on the commentary booth, but
it was a great idea.
It was a great idea, yeah. And then
we had. Oh, you know what? I know. Kane and X-Pac fighting to the double count out first was a little precursor, because this was pre, Kane Pac tag team, right?
Was it?
I think so. It had to have been, because
no, it's not.
No,
it's
that happened
not.
before.
Yeah, it did, because if you remember, so DX split up, and them together now. This is them. They've recently had reformed as the four of them, because like Triple H had joined the corporation and stuff like that, and like he turned on X-Pac, and I think even the New Age Outlaws had turned on each other for a while. It was all a bit of a mess for a bit there.
Yeah, but Kane was still in his mask.
Yeah, but he could just about talk. He had the I'll find out right now.
Did he have the voice box thing? He
had the voice box thing, yeah.
Suck it.
Yeah. Well, that's 2000. Where are we?
Well, anyway, here the order of elimination goes. Kane fought X-Pac to a double countout. Billy Gunn defeated Shane with the Fame Asser. Billy Gunn was disqualified for hitting Test with a chair. Rock defeated the Road Dogg with a rock bottom. Test defeated Triple H after the guest ring enforcer Steve Austin hit Triple H with a chair handed to him by Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's how it all went down.
That's how it went down, and then Triple H obviously gets in. It was, you know what? It was executed really well. The way they obviously rehearsed it.
I mean, it really
and then
was.
Triple H went for the punch, and obviously Arnold ducks it, and then he backhands Triple H.
Yeah,
and like Triple H sold the fuck out of that, and it was so well done. I was shit, man. that was so damn well done.
They know what they're doing. They they knew more what they were doing than they let on.
Yeah,
or
and
something.
And there.
I mean, go home. Show's got to go home.
Yeah, and they sent it. They signed, sealed, delivered. I'm yours.
Yeah.
That was one hell of an episode of SmackDown.
But holy shit, let's just how many? Okay, and that match 10 just over 10 minutes, which of course that's an elimination match, multiple eliminations, but man, every other match was so fucking short. That's time. I mean, that's how it was at the time too.
That's how it was at the time, and like like these days you get like good 10-minute long matches, like multiple on a night, but like shit. I mean, you had 7 matches on the night, and then you get like 4 dark matches. Like you were given a lot of matches, but they were all very short. And I guess when you went to go and see a wrestling show back then, it wasn't really about seeing the wrestling. It was more about seeing the stars in person. And then seeing like all the crazy bullshit that would happen in between. So
you do kind of forget about that. Like there is There was a lot of that. It's just people were there to see the person that they like.
Yeah, you wanted to just see Austin.
And that's why and a lot of times that is why you get these weird matchups of things and weird tag teams. And it's like, people like you, we want to put you out there, but we don't have a story for you right now. So we're just shoving you out there to do stuff.
Yeah.
So that people are happy that they get to see you,
Yeah.
And that's okay. And man, that is okay. Like that stuff is okay too.
Yeah.
I'd rather my guy be out there doing something than nothing at all.
Right.
Overall, I mean, I don't know. Are we really rate? Did we rate the Raw last time?
We rated Raw.
Oh, that's right. We rated 14.
So what are we giving this one?
As a go-home show to the pay-per-view, like, the matches were good. Again, the matches, the ones that were actual matches, were good.
I mean, they served their purpose at the very least.
They certainly served their purpose. But yeah, I couldn't give this any higher than a 14 either. For a go-home show for a Big 5 pay-per-view, yeah, it was good.
Just like the Raw we watched last week, there was the Raw we watched, there was some good matches. For this one, there was a lot of excitement. Like, it was fast paced. It was constant action. Like, you couldn't blink. But then it was obviously let down by some really questionable stories and
some
really questionable gimmicks.
Even on this one, some of it's questionable. Some of it's just shocking and over time. Questionable the time period too.
Even questionable for the late 90s. Yeah,
but I mean, if you want to go shocking, I mean, if we're rating it on shock factor, then it's like 20 with a bonus. I mean, yeah. If shocking was what they were after, like they definitely
shocked.
They hit the mark. They hit a bullseye on what they wanted to accomplish. That 100%. For sure. Yeah, for sure. Like we'll put it at that. But as far as overall, yeah, I still give it a 14. It's still high. Like it still hits the mark. It's still well above average.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that's our verdict.
That's it.
The most Attitude Era SmackDown I think of memory, for sure. Yeah,
for sure.
Moving on swiftly. Next week's episode, we will be doing a historic Bad Blood review. Obviously,
are we?
Heading in towards Bad Blood, which is next weekend. So good sir, we need to roll for that pay-per-view and see which one we are going to watch.
We certainly do. How many do we got?
There's only ever been 3 in history. We've got 97, 2003, and 2004. So
was there not? There's not an In Your House Bad Blood though, right?
There was an In Your House Bad Blood. Then we had 2 just standard Bad Bloods.
Oh, that includes an In Your House. Oh shit. Okay.
So we've got 3 to choose from.
So I guess 3. Okay, so a D6. I'm gonna roll.
Okay, yeah.
And that way, it'll be every 2. It'll be 1, 2 is 1, 3, 4 is 2, and 5, 6 is 3.
3. Cool.
Yeah. I'm rolling my Dusty Druid D6 that Justin shout out. Once again, Boulette Club way back.
Oh yeah, let's shout out to the Boulette Club today.
Yeah. So here we go. Let's see what we got. That's a 4, so that's a 2.
And number 2, so that's Bad Blood 2003.
Ooh, all right.
So we have first match. I'll just go through the card here. We got Christopher Nowinski and Rodney Mack versus the Dudley Boys. We got Scott Steiner versus Test. We got Booker T versus Christian for the Intercontinental Championship. We got La Resistance versus Kane and Rob Van Dam for the World Tag Team Championships. We got Goldberg versus Chris Jericho. We got Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels.
Oh damn!
In 2003. Okay. We got Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Eric Bischoff in a redneck triathlon. In which we do a burping.
That's not even bro. That's
a burping contest, a pie eating contest, and a pig pen fun match.
Oh Jesus! Wait,
and then we have Triple H versus Kevin Nash in a Hell in a Cell for the World Heavyweight Championship, with Mick Foley as a special guest referee.
Oh shit! Oh, okay. So, this is right. This is post invasion.
Very much so. Yeah,
Big Gold Belt
so.
But Big Gold Belt is still around.
Yeah,
World Championship is still there. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there we go.
So that's our pay per view next week.
That's a pay per view next week.
There we go.
And then of course the week after that we'll be reviewing this year's
Bad Blood itself.
Blood.
Yeah, the first in 20 years.
And we'll
actually
once again see who's right and who's surprised. Shout outs once again. Shout out Wikipedia. Support Wikipedia. That is where we get most of the stuff that we talk about. Shout out to Al. I paused there a little too long. What?
Yeah, I was like, very good, because you paused for so long.
Oh yeah, very good. Shout out to Al at 2K Games. WWE 2K24. Start your legacy. Step into the story. DLC 4 Global Superstars Pack is out now, featuring Jade Cargill, Nia Jax, Michelle McCool, Carlito, Kairi Sane, Lyra Valkyria, and Dragon Lee. Get it? Follow us on social media. Add Punks Talk Wrestling. Just search Punks Talk Wrestling. You'll find us.
You can't go wrong, really.
You'll find us and news about CM Punk.
Likely, yeah.
Probably more. You'll likely, but at Punks Talk Wrestling everywhere. And then, if there's content on that site, then you'll know that we actually use it. If there's not, then we don't use it.
That we don't use it.
Follow
That's right.
it somewhere else. Just go to Instagram at Punks Talk Wrestling or Thread. I mean, I'm on Threads. I'm on Threads sometimes at Punks Talk Wrestling. Wrestling Threads is actually not bad. It's not a terrible place.
Yeah,
It's definitely better than Wrestling Twitter. Wrestling Twitter is a fucking cesspool. We've never even been on Twitter this podcast because there's
fuck
no
that
point.
shit.
So don't even attempt to look for us there. If you find anything related to Punks Talk Wrestling on Twitter, it's someone else stealing our shit. So hey man, whatever. YouTube.com/punkstalkwrestling. Also, we've got a Patreon. Did you check out that Patreon post I made last week that I said I was going to do, and I actually did it?
Oh, did you? Well done.
Pat myself on the back right there. I said I was going to do a thing, and I did it. Yay. Me. It's at patreon.com/punkstalkwrestling. That's where that's at. There's probably going to be something. Maybe there's something this week that got cut out earlier that I'll put up on there. Maybe I'll just put an old clip of me ranting up there.
They're not hard to find.
They're not. No. It's a lot of stuff. Other than that, I think we're good, right? I think that's it. We did everything right.
Are we done?
Yeah.
Are we done?
Yeah. Pretty sure. Yep.
All right. Say so.
I mean, if you say so.
It's fine.
It's late. It's technically later over there, so you.
I mean, yeah, I'm done.
Oh.
I'm done. I'll see you. I'll see you. I'll see. Okay, well.
Yep.
Like.
Yep.
Okay, no.
Shit.
No,
But.
I'm just trying
to. Can we just be done, please? Can we fucking stop?
No, I'm just saying.
I'm done. I'm done this time.
Don't worry. No, what I was trying to say. What were you gonna say? Okay, I'll see you later.
Yeah, man. How's dinner?
Oh, so good. I had a curry.
Yeah.
Korma. A little korma curry. Very good. Very tasty.
Korma? Korma curry?
You don't know?
Is that the name of a place, or is that the
No,
type
that's the name
curry?
of the curry. How? What? There's no way.
I don't know.
Is curry a big thing out in the States?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah?
That's from like Indian and food and stuff. Yeah, I mean,
But how?
it's a big.
How do you not know what a korma is?
I don't know. I don't know how I don't know that.
That's crazy.
Wow. I'm sure Adriana knows.
Hey, what curries do you know?
I don't know anything about.
Oh.
I know curry. I know curry is a thing.
Oh, there's many types. The korma and tikka, chicken tikka, are probably like the two most like known popular curries out there.
Okay.
Wow.
Chicken tinga?
Tikka.
Tikka.
Yeah.
Oh.
Tikka masala.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like something I've heard.
I know those words.
I've heard those words. I've heard people say those words.
Yeah, chicken tikka masala and chicken korma. Those are the two like most popular curries. So, yeah.
Is the curry considered? That's the sauce base, right? Like that's really what.
Basically,
that's really what it is.
Yeah, it's curry
because
sauce. Yeah.
It's the sauce.
Yeah.
Is really because everything else is just what's the sauce is covering: rice and
the meat, whatever the meat.
The
is,
meat, whatever the protein base is.
Yeah.
Okay. So the name of like
essentially the name of a curry is the name of the sauce, I guess. Yeah, you could say that.
Is the name of the sauce and then whatever else. Okay. I'm getting another.
And you can obviously you can buy like jars or whatever of the curry sauces, but you can make them from scratch. Like for example, a korma curry is like more coconut based, whereas like a chicken tikka or a tikka masala, is more like tomato based.
Okay.
Yeah. So
now we know. And if any of our listeners didn't know this as well, or if I'm just the only one that doesn't know shit, there you go.
Well, the more you know. But next time we're together, I need to get you a curry.
It was a digibonus for me
right there,
because I did not know anything about anything. I just eat food that's presented to me.
Yeah, I
really
mean, yeah, that's fair.
Listen to what people say.
Just if it tastes good, I eat it.
If it's in front of me.
If it's in front of me, I eat it. And then, if it's in front of me, I eat it. And if it tastes good, I will continue to eat it.
I'll continue. Yeah, right.
So it should work.
Yeah, and if it's free, I'll eat it regardless of whether I like it or not.
Yeah, there's nothing like free samples, right?
Yeah.
We're at the supermarket,
free anything.
So.
Free anything.
Free anything's great, yeah.
Ah.